What do they say in the movies? Hi-ho silver? Something like that. I thought I was fixing to rip that birch down on top of me. Smart farmer would have leather gloves on the tractor. Have y'all ever thought of something and knew it was a bad idea, but you did it anyways? Well, what's up everyone? Mike here, Garage and Homestead. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we got a few little road projects to do. We're gonna use Tiny, we're gonna use the backhoe and get some of this fixed. But right here behind me, this road is starting to trench out, and let me show you kind of what it used to look like. So you can see that water, there's a couple little trenches right up there, and it's coming down right through here, cutting up the road. But right over here, see that little, looks like a trail? That's where I dug with the dozer before. I went right back up in here and angled that blade and just kind of cut a shallow trench down through there. But with all the rain we've been getting, all this water from the side of this hill's been coming down here, and it has filled the little trench up with sediment. So now the water's continually running downhill all the way down here towards the pond, and it's just cutting everything up. So this is one of 3 spots we're going to work on today. The next spot is on the north end of the property. Kind of the same deal. Water's coming off the side of the hill, and it's just going down the road instead of going down into the ditch like it should be. So we're going to dig a little trench there, and then the little crossing over on the west side of the property that has the concrete tin horn in it that we drive the side-by-side across, about 20 foot upstream of it, a bunch of sticks and everything have piled up and have basically built a dam right there. So we're going to try not to get Tiny stuck, because I know all of that is soft and wet right now. But we're going to try to back up in there and use the backhoe and rip that little dam out. And speaking of dams, this one right here, with a lot of that rain we've got, it has knocked a good portion of that off over there. I've got to redo all this. I need about probably 6 to 8 more foot onto this and just make this a whole lot wider, because it's barely wide enough to get a truck across now. But the other day, with all of our rain, I don't know if you can see all them leaves and everything that's built up right up here at the top. This was so full, it was built up to here. Another foot, that water had been coming right over this road like it used to all the time. So luckily, we did have one of these plugged up. I'll show you a picture. I'll throw up a picture of the log that was stuck in that horn right there. But I had John crawl in there, pull the log out. We both worked on it to get that up out of there. And we got most of it, but then there was a tiny little water moccasin about 3 foot from him. So they got out of the water. And I'm not really sure why they stopped, because it was a little snake. And here's another angle of it. And you can tell that's that little trench I was talking about. That was before I dug a lot of this out too. But the dozer I brought from up here and pushed basically a trench all the way down to the pond, and a lot of that's getting filled up. That's a lot lower, so I'm just going to worry about the road. I'm going to come through right here and just probably pull down about 4 to 6 inches, and that should be enough to get us going for right now and not have to worry about this trenching out anymore. So let me get on Tiny, we'll get this dug, then we'll move to the next spot. Once everything dries up some, I'll shove a bunch of dirt back up here and fill these gullies up. We may end up bringing some rock with the dump trailer down here and just spreading some rock on the slope. Okay. Oops. That may be a bad place for that camera. I got grease all over it. Won't do that again. We don't need much, just something to divert the water. This seat extension from ITC Quick Attach that Jake sent me, this helps out a ton. And yes, I know I'm going a little deep in some of this. I don't know if you guys remember before, the seat was so far forward, your inner thighs was right up here. Now you got gobs of room. I'm even sitting forward some. I'm kind of glad we're going a little bit deeper, just because I'm going to get some bigger rock, some washed rock throw in here, where it can act almost sort of like a French drain. Maybe we won't have to deal with this issue anymore. Right here's where that trench is still opened up, so yeah, that will work. So I'm gonna turn this thing around and go ahead and push all this dirt kind of back up in that road. There's definitely enough low spots that'll hold it. You guys can see we've already got water pooling up down in there. So I'll just turn the tiny around, shovel this up here, and just kind of flatten it out. Hopefully we get this done. That's rain. More rain. Just what we need. The dozer did a better job. You guys see all that water? Well, let's see if we can get through without all these mama cows running up here. I think I'm just gonna have to run them off. Get. Go. Well, we're gonna have to be fast. No, you guys got about another week. Another week you can come over here. Go, get. Go, get. Get. You guys are hard-headed. Not today. I think they're angry. All of this is water. I'm sure you guys can see all that's water. Every bit of that from the side of that hill coming out of it, all water down here. You can see where it is running down this old road. Well, the old ditch is right over here to the left where that thick stuff is. So I think I'm gonna come right in here, back up into there through them briars, or maybe right over in here. You can see that water got so high up here, it was pooching up on some of the leaves. But that water just follows this road all the way around. There's a little part that goes to the old ditch. The old ditch is right down through here. It just goes next to the road, but as you can see, it goes down the road. So, where would be the best place? I think right up there about where that tripod's at, and just cut it right up through there. I think that's what we'll do. This one will be a little bit longer trench because we're going to go at a diagonal up towards that old tree that blew over. Got some tree roots. Tree roots I was not anticipating. We'll make do. Try not to make this one as deep as the other one because I don't plan on bringing rock down here, but I guess if I have to, I have to. There'll be water flowing in this thing before we're done. All that rain we've been getting, it's about 80 degrees right now, and it is muggy. Come on, quit pulling. Let's go up one more time. We can keep them sinking this thing. Tractor is sliding a little. That's probably good enough. Okay, well, all of that should start flowing down this little ravine now. A few spots I got a little deeper. Well, let's see if we can get out of here. And worst case, if this trenches out real bad, I'll cut that little elm tree off down there. We'll just move the road up a little bit. It's making headway. Okay, let's head over to the other crossing. If I'm gonna get stuck, that's gonna be it. This is soft. I don't know if you guys can still see, but every bit of that's all still underwater. Well, let's have a look-see. Okay, this water right here, that shouldn't be happening. Neither should that water running down through here. We're starting to get another gully right in here. Oh, and this is soft and slimy. There's a tree that blew over, I don't know if you can tell where that clearing is over there on the other side of that timber, but there's a tree that blew over that we ran the Priyama and stuff on a few times, and when it uprooted, it diverted that creek some where it started coming across that flat instead of staying in the creek. That's another spot we got to fix. But I think a lot of it stews from this thing really isn't running much water because it's damming up right here, right up in there it's damming up. So I got to figure out the best way to try to get in here with Tiny without getting teetotally stuck, because I don't know if you can tell, the side by side has a difficult time coming through here. Right up to about that briar patch to here, that's all soft. I believe the first one we can get to pretty easy. Yeah, we can just back tiny right up here and rip out whatever. Or we back it right into here. And then this old blackjack. Used to be a road goes through here, but that ain't been that way in a long, long time. See if I can take Tiny and push some of this stuff out of the way so we can get Tiny backed up back in that thick stuff. Well, that's not so bad. I can rip out some of this, some of that. That's the main one right there. You can see how far that water is there on the other side versus right up here. That one actually may be the only one we need to do. Okay, let's work on doing that one then. I'm gonna set a camera up probably right over there. You guys can see my footprints just walking. It is soft. Well, we almost got stuck pulling in here. It sunk down pretty decent. Fairly hard right here, but this we're just gonna have to rev her up and go whenever we get ready to get out of here. All right, battle's half won. Well, I hope you guys can see. These are thick briars back in here. Okay, I guess the briars are staying. We'll leave it like that. Whatever wants to pull can pull. Okay, well, that is a little better than briars. Man, oh man. I had the other camera set up here, and I looked over once while I was digging, and it had filled up pretty decent. That's all brown. It's all running that way now. Hopefully this stuff will stop here pretty soon. I may try to shove on that root ball, see if I can get that root ball shoved over, but there's going to be a big splash on the other side of it. So our next hurdle is getting tiny back out of this mess, so I'm going to set you guys up on the other side, and I'm gonna go. And I don't know how many of them briars are going to grab hold. I thought I was fixing to rip that birch down on top of me. That's why I kind of quit pulling on it there. But let's get through this mud hole. That little water patch right there, that's actually fairly deep. It's about 6-8 inches deep to the bottom of that. Okay, well, we'll give it a go. I drove up here. Some of that's soft. Probably drive up there again. What do they say in the movies? Hi-ho silver? Something like that? Let's try it. Never doubted it. Go ahead and get these briars ripped off of here. Let me drag them home with me. Smart farmer would have leather gloves on the tractor. I never claimed to be smart. Okay. All right. Since we're out and about, I don't know. I'm gonna go look at that stump. I don't know if I can get in there. It's again, it's soft where that thing's at too, because there's standing water on both sides of that tree that's in there. We'll need to hook onto that with the bulldozer and just drag it up out of that bottom where it's at, because there's still good wood in that thing. Okay, here's where I'm talking about. That water, this used to just be a creek here. Then, you know, we built the new pond is right there. But the water comes out over that. It's still following the same trail that it's always came down right through here and right over there, and just went right down through the timber. And there's a little ditch right back in there that it'd go to. But ever since this thing uprooted, this water come right along here and used to just kind of curve back in that way. But when this uprooted, that water come down here and it found it a new low spot over there. This is a bad idea. I'm gonna get soaked. I know it. Okay, I'm gonna set you guys up right over there. I'm gonna back tiny as far as I can up in here without getting totally submerged. And I'm gonna try to take the backhoe, because I know I've cut a few chunks on the other side of that stump, so that thing should break over and get me soaking wet. With any luck, it won't happen. It'll be nice and easy. We'll see. Have y'all ever thought of something and knew it was a bad idea, but you did it anyways? That's how I'm feeling. And I think I need to come back just a little bit. There went my cup. And maybe this thing's still connected more than I thought. I don't think it's gonna move for us, Clark. Okay, well, we tried real hard. All right, well, we tried. That was not a success. We're gonna need to either cut up on it some more or just bring the dozer down here and rip the entire thing out of there. That would probably be best. Get it out here in the field so we're not dealing with this mess. But hopefully some of the other things that we did is gonna improve some of the roads around here, get some of the stuff to drain like it should instead of just wash out the roads. But everyone, I really appreciate you being here. Appreciate you tagging along with the fiasco that I did today. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.